Okay, let me take off from here. And as much as I didn't want to do this, and I have to do it anyway, because when you kind of realize how much people are going through a whole lot of troubles and the chaos, and everybody is blaming everybody for their problems, then sometimes you just have to get out there and make things clear so that people can understand how this life works and how things move around. So when something is happening in your life, then you get to understand the reason why that thing is happening. I've been going through a spiritual awakening since the beginning of the pandemic. It started February 2020. And when I say spiritual awakening, this is what I mean. Spiritual awakening can generally be defined as a newfound awareness, a spiritual reality. No person can fully define a spiritual awakening to another. It's different among people. Everybody feels different, even though it's coming from the same source. Of course, each person has a different outlook of life and define things differently. It can happen at any moment or period of your life. This experience can be spontaneous, but they can also be triggered by major life changes, life traumas, tragedies, addiction, life-threatening illness, car accident, divorce, war, midlife crisis, and a whole lot. Mine was kind of triggered by some issues that I was going through in life, and things didn't make sense to me, especially the religion was kind of not making sense to me, because you sit down and look at the whole things and it makes you feel as if, is God real? If he's there, why are people suffering and he's watching on? So that is how the whole thing started. And before I left Ghana, I just asked God to show me the real way people can live, or how we can live peaceful life without trouble, without resorting to the massive occultism that was going on in Ghana. I was kind of worried about it, and how the youth in Ghana were resorting to Sakawa and all the killings and stuff. I wasn't at peace with that at all. So I asked God, please show me, what is it that we can do so we will know the right way to follow and gain all this kind of riches without resorting to what these young guys are going through. It was kind of awful, taking human lives for riches. And the fact that people go to church regardless of your religion. If it's mosque that you are going, you do everything you're supposed to do at whichever religious body you belong to, and you still go through a whole lot of mess in life. It's like it reaches the point where people get to be angry with God, that if he is, why are they suffering? And they begin to say a whole lot of things to God, and it bothered me. I had to ask questions. Now, let me key in this. Spiritual awakening is like being in a dark room and a huge, let me say, a warehouse with a whole lot of stuff, and all you have, the room is dark. All you have is a torch light, or let me say, we say it here, a flashlight that can see only about 5 inches of a space. So if you are not spiritually awakened, like you are living your life in the world like somebody in a huge warehouse with only a light that can see 5 inches of space. So just imagine the things that are around that you can see. Now the moment you get light that lightens the whole warehouse for you to realize that, oh, so are there this number of things in this room and I never knew about it. That is when you are awakened. So when you are awakened spiritually, it is the time that you realize that there was more to life than you ever knew. So until you go through spiritual awakening, your life will never be complete. So just imagine the number of people that have led life, uncompleted life, and they've just led miserable life, suffered, died, and gone. Now I'm here. It's been a struggle trying to come online because I was pulling back, but this is kind of my calling. I have to do this. And then a lot of things that I'm going to say doesn't fall in the normal things we believe in the church system, in the religion general, because I began getting a lot of information. I just get downloads. As I'm sitting down right now, I can begin to get downloads. So I'll take a pen and paper and begin to write. Because I sought for information and the information came. If you are watching me, you wouldn't be here. If you want to trigger your spiritual awakening, ask God beyond the Bible what is. If you're Muslim, ask Allah beyond the Quran what is. Because I was shocked one day when I was told that what we believe to be the Bible and what we believe to be on all is not up to 1% of what we have to know about God. Can you imagine this? What you need to live a fulfilled life, the Bible is not up to 1% of it. So how can you live a fulfilled life? Not the Bible alone, all the religious books. Now, I'll go into the comments and answer you. If I don't answer you, don't worry. I just want to get this out there. When I'm done, I'll go into the comments and anything that I have to answer, I will answer you. So we, Christians, Muslims, whoever, what you've taken and you are using it to act as if that is all in all. Now, one thing that saddens my heart on the side of Christians is that there is a part of the Bible that says this is all. You can't add, you can't take out. Now remember, from the 4th century to the 6th century, the Bible was heavily altered. It was edited. So people sat down and decided what we should know and what we shouldn't know. So can you imagine the number of things or what you don't know as a human being, and you are leading your life, and some people take the Bible so serious, and whenever you say something, they rise up and begin to fight. I bet you there is more you have to know. Myself, I'm in shock after getting to know what I know now, and it doesn't end. It doesn't end because every blessed day I get to know something new, and I ask myself, so how can people survive not knowing all this? You know, who we've been told God is not who he really is. People sat down, a council sat down and decided, let us tell humanity this is who God is. And occurrences from the past have put God before us in a certain picture. So we think God is that wicked father that if you do something, he punishes you. No. That's not who God is. It's a whole different. Now, the question that I'll ask is, we say God has unconditional love. If God has so much unconditional love, then why does a father who loves the kid unconditionally will, after the kid has done something wrong, will carry the child and go and put the child in an oven for the child to burn for life? Does it make sense? Christians, it's about time for you to wake up and go within. One thing we don't know is we feel like God is far away. He's not far away. Every human being is a piece of God. Like God is the big cake and you are a piece of that cake. So every sweetness that is in that big cake, you have it and you are carrying it around. Don't look down upon yourself. God is not that wicked. God is not going to take anybody and put him in what fire. God is not taking anybody to put in fire for what? That is not who God is. What we've been told is nowhere close to who God is. Now, when you begin to understand him more, he lives in you. You walk with him. You don't need to go to any gathering and clap and shout and jump before he can hear you. Wherever you are, you were a piece of him. You are connected to him. You can go to him direct. You don't need anybody to go to your source. You are connected to your source. You see, so this is the reason why many people are angry. I bet you people are currently confused. A lot of Christians, people have stopped going to church. They are angry with God. But that, if you don't know him, how can you understand? How can you understand him? So from now, you begin to ask God to give you more insight about who he really is. Because what we've been told all these years long is not true about God. And there are things that we are supposed to know as humanity that we don't know. That is causing us to lack back. So until we begin to get all those knowledge, begin to understand God, then our lives will begin to turn around in a different direction. You see, so as I said, if all you have is the Bible and you think that is all, I understand the fact that there are amazing things in the Bible. By the power of the Almighty, it wasn't everything that was touched. So there are amazing things, but what is lacking is they've taken the completions of the things, so it doesn't make everything, it doesn't give you a clear understanding of everything. Like, let's take Mark chapter 11 verse 24. We said, if you pray and believe that your prayers are answered, you receive the answers, right? But it wasn't just that. In the ancient writings, the Bible says that after you have prayed and believing, surround yourself with the emotions that you feel when the answers have already been given. So if I'm looking for something, it could be anything, it could be a car, it could be a house. After I've said and prayer is not going to God to beg, God, I beg you, please give me this. God, I beg you. That is not prayer. All that thing we've been doing is not prayer. That's why you go to church and say, I prayed a lot. But at the end of the day, nothing happens. That is because what we are doing and we think is prayer is not prayer. You see, prayer is not saying, God, I beg you, do this for me. That is not it. If you want to pray, you have to believe that the thing is already done. Just in belief, say, God, I thank you that you've done this for me. God, I thank you that this amount of money has been released. Now, after doing that, just imagine yourself holding the money and see how you feel. From that, give thanks again. If you are watching this, let this form be your prayer and see how your life is going to change. And always remember, if you've been following my postings for the past year, you see I've been posting things like your mind. The Bible says, let the mind of Christ be in you, right? If you have to belong to the mind of God for your life to go in the pattern that you want. And this is how it is. There are two minds. We have the universal mind of God, and we have the mass mind. The mass mind is what everybody believes. Now, the universal mind of God is basically the mind of God, and what awakened people, that is the mind where awakened people's mind belongs to. Now, if you believe you have to struggle or you have to work hard to get money, you are in the mass mind. Now, I bet you in the mass mind, we have the mind of madmen. We have the mind of anybody. Armed robbers. Every evil person you can think of is in the mass mind. Now, what happens is, if you refuse to think, the mass mind thinks for you. So just imagine how your life is when everybody else is thinking for you. Sometimes you sit down and your problems begin to run through your mind. Then you give a big sigh. You think you are thinking. You are not thinking. You are not thinking. If you allow, what that is you are allowing your mind to think. You are allowing things to run through your mind, and you think you are thinking, but you are not thinking. So if life is not going well and you've done everything possible, you go to church, you do everything, mind you still belongs to the mass mind. So every bad thing that happens in the mass mind will happen for you. Now, how do you run away from the mass mind? Begin to think. Begin to think. Thinking is when you get this idea in your mind, life is hard. The moment that thing, life is hard, comes to your mind, you are not thinking. The mass mind is running your mind. The moment that thing comes to your mind, immediately, if you are thinking, you get in and say, no, God is the source of my supply. All my needs are instantaneously met. So life is not hard. God is taking me through it, and everything will be successful. This kind of affirmations are way heavier than prayers. The kind of prayers you pray, God, I beg you, the clapping and the jumping. These affirmations are way heavier and better than that. And that is going to take you through life than what you think is prayer. So mind you, from today onwards, don't allow your mind to think. You begin to think. You are thinking when everything around you seems to not be going well. Then you sit down and say, I know who I am. I am part of God. And therefore, I know what I want will happen to me just as I want it to be. Watch the way you think, because thoughts are everything. The most powerful thing that God gave us is the mind and thoughts. Our thoughts are the most powerful force on this planet Earth, like in creation, let me say, in general. Because where your thoughts can carry, where you can go with your thoughts, the body cannot go there. And thoughts are so powerful. Atomic bombs. What can you compare to thoughts? Thoughts are so powerful. So people cry about slavery, the slave system that passed. But currently, we are being enslaved with our thoughts, the mind. When somebody has your mind, he has you totally. That is the reason why, up to date, everybody believes Africa is poor. But Africa is the richest continent on this planet. And still we believe Africa is poor. We've been enslaved in the mind until we start saying no. Looking at our resources, looking at what we have, Africa cannot be said to be the poorest continent. If we can change that thought, and more than 50% of the people in Africa begin to think we are rich, things are going to turn around. So be careful what you believe in. Be very careful what you believe, because what you believe runs your life. I think I put this on my Facebook news feed some time ago. What you believe rules your life. Go through your beliefs. That I have a whole lot to share today. I'm hitting different things because this is the introduction. and my consequent videos that I'll be sharing on my Bernice Wilson 911, my page, is the same for my Facebook page, same for my Instagram, and it's same for my TikTok. You can follow that because I'll be putting a lot of information out there. I'm out here for people that have tried everything and nothing seems to be working. You've gone everywhere. You've prayed every kind of prayer and nothing is working. Follow up. I think I've put it in the description. Follow up. I'll be bringing a whole lot of things, and you will understand why your life is where it is and how you can move from that level to the next level. What do you believe? Do you believe you have to work hard, really hard before you can get something small? That is not what is supposed to happen. And those that are carrying the Bible like it's everything, there is more to. I remember some time ago, my guys were kind of laughing at me, and they told me there is more to life than John 3:16. There is more to life than John 3:16. There is more to life than the Bible. Take the Bible, and let me give you this hint. Anything in the Bible that when you read, you become afraid is not from God. I'm telling you this. Anything that scares you when you read the Bible, not from God. Anything in there that after reading gives you peace, inner peace, that makes you feel that even if everything is not okay now, I'm giving myself time, is going to be okay. That is what you should heed to. From now on, forget about that thing they wrote in it that don't take some out, don't add some. That is not what God. That is not a message from God. Remember, I told you in the beginning, the Bible was heavily edited from the 4th to 6th century. Do research. The reason why most people are suffering because you are not looking for information. You're just sitting down and dancing according to the tune of how things have been, and you think things are going to work for you that way. No. Today, something will be okay. Tomorrow, something worse will happen. If you don't run away from the mass mind to the universal mind of God, your life wouldn't be stable. So what you're supposed to do is to think. Don't let your mind think you. Stop thinking about your problems. The more you think about your problems, the more they are going to increase, because that is how it is. The mind is like a fertile ground. It doesn't care about what you are planting in it. It will give you more of what you planted in it. So all you've been doing is is sitting down, thinking about your problems and crying about your problems. I bet you, regardless of the amount of prayers you pray and whatever, the problems are going to increase from 1 to 100. Because every thought is very powerful. So whenever you are thinking, remember that I said the thoughts that you are thinking are like seeds that you are putting in a very fertile ground, and it's going to germinate and grow, become big, and give you more fruit. So if you put a single thought that things are difficult, it is going to grow and the difficulties are going to be plenty. Find ways and means to tell yourself positive things. Affirm. Sometimes I write affirmations for friends, and if I give you affirmations, you can't read affirmations. Later on, I'm going to teach you how to write your own affirmations. It's very easy. If you read affirmations in the morning, I'm so happy and grateful that my life is going well and money is coming to me easily and effortlessly. You read this affirmation a couple of times in the morning, and throughout the day, you are thinking about how things are difficult, how you are not making an ends meet. The affirmation is a waste. It doesn't matter the rituals you do. If you keep thinking about how things are difficult, how people are not being nice to you, how everything seems not to be going well, the affirmations are waste. So make sure you change your pattern of thought. When you change your pattern of thought, it's going to reflect in your life. Now, the moment you begin to think positively, and the moment you are able to identify, this is a wrong thought, I'm not supposed to think this thought, then you are aware of your thought, I bet you are going to see change in your life. Become aware of your thoughts. Don't just let things be running through your mind. Don't let things run through your mind. When things are running through your mind, that is when you think, I'm not enough. Everything is going wrong. Like, I don't have a good job. When those things are going through your mind, it's the mass mind that is running your mind. You are not thinking. So immediately become aware and know that no, I'm not doing the right thing. Jump into the universal mind of God and begin to speak good things to yourself and say, I don't care about my current situation. I know I belong to a source that owns everything, so why should I worry? That is when you take hold of your mind. Put good things in your mind. Don't look at the situation around you. If you can affirm positively throughout the day, you will take control of your life. Don't allow the negative thoughts to run your mind. If you do that, you are not in control of your life. You are not in control of your mind. So anything can move from anywhere, hit you and take hold of you. So please, I'm not trying to discourage any Christian. I'm not trying to discourage any religious person. But go to remember that, as I said in the beginning, you are a piece of God. You know, God broke a piece of him and said, go to earth. And people think our beginning is from the beginning, that the Bible says in the beginning, God created heaven and earth. You have been. When God was creating the heaven and the earth, you were there. You saw everything. As a matter of fact, you've been here. I'm black, but it could be I've been white before in my previous lifetime. We do go and come. We do go and come. This is deep. If you stick around, I'll be explaining more. So don't look down upon yourself, regardless of what is around you, regardless of your deformities, your shortcomings. Don't look down upon yourself, because you are not as small and weak as you think you are. You are something big. Humanity is something big, but we've been influenced by negative forces that have connections on earth that is ruining us. So if you become awakened, now your skin color even wouldn't matter to you anymore, because you realize that, oh, I'm this huge. So you begin to put away all judgments and everything. I'm not worried that I'm black. I'm not worried about how I look, because I know I'm a piece of God. That is what matters to me. He is my source, and whatever I need, I'm supposed to have it. So I walk around all day affirming to myself, God is the source of my supply. I'm not worried. Everything I need comes to me easily and effortless. You are not supposed to kill yourself to eat. You are not supposed to struggle to eat. Now, one thing that we don't know is within this world, like how every phone is connected, and someone can stay in a corner in Africa and call you in the United States and pick. That is how everything is connected. So once you put the energy out there, it connects to the correct energy, regardless of where that person is, that human is. The kind of help that you need, when you put it out there in the right way, it gets connected, and how your problems get solved is beyond our understanding. Today, I'm just doing the introduction. I want you to know you are more than you think you are. Don't allow what people say about you break you, because just imagine how much ignorant people are out there. So if you allow that kind of ignorance to break you down, what are you doing to yourself? So we have all these people out there who are trying to find fault with everything. And I was watching TikTok one day, and just this acronym GOAT, greatest of all times, someone was seriously finding fault with it, making a whole lot of spiritual implications. And in the past there were these demons that were goats and all that. What is this? Let me tell you, life is meant to be lived freely, happily. We are here to enjoy life and go. There is nothing like you after you are dead that you are going to be so judged by this our call. We say God is loving, unconditional Father, God, the source of all creation. There are people that don't believe in God. I don't blame you, but remember, there is everything you see in this world didn't just jump and come in. There is a higher power behind everything. You can call him the universe. You can call him infinite intelligence, because he knows everything. He's all knowing. You can, every name that you feel comfortable to call the source of creation, he has no problem with that. God hasn't got problem about our life like we think he has. He is the infinite intelligence, and you are part of that infinite intelligence. Now, if you want to know him well, the first thing to do is to dive deep into yourself. Stop running out there. Stop running out there. What you want is not out there. It's right here. Everything you need, if you want your life to take off, don't run out there and look for anything anywhere. It's right here. Because, as I said, God is that big cake, and you are a piece of that cake. Every sweetness that is in the source of creation is in you. Excuse me. Every sweetness that is in that big cake, God, is in you. So you don't have to run out there. I bet you I've been in the United States for the past 3 years. I've not been to a church single time. But when I was in Africa, I was like, I was going to church all the time. Like weekdays, I'll close my shop, stop working, go to church. But ask me, what did I gain in life? It's not about going to church. It's not about running to some man of God to pray for you. It's about getting to know you. Dive deep in yourself. Get to be close to the God that is in you. Now, it's amazing. After my spiritual awakening, I've not called like I used to do. He said, you need me in your shop, trust me. I've not called anybody for assistance, spiritual assistance, because I realized that God hears me as I'm talking to you right now. He's hearing me, what I'm doing. I know today I'm all over the place, because I was told this is what I'm supposed to do, because a lot of people are struggling, suffering. They are angry with God. They think God is not hearing them. But brother, sister, God put us on earth here. It's like school. As I mentioned previously, we've all been here before. We've lived on other planets as other beings before. And we are on earth on a journey, a lovely journey. Come and experience it. Come and learn. There are some mistakes you made in your past life. That is what we call karma. When you make certain mistakes in your past life, you are given the chance to come again, to come and correct it. So don't take the people you are living with for granted. Your sisters, your brother, your parents. You might have lived with them in your past life. You are here. Your brother now could have been your husband in your past life. Excuse me. Your brother could have been your husband in your past life. That's how these things work. So you are here to make corrections. Whenever you have the chance to do good things, don't hesitate. Jump on it and do it. You see, we are not here, as Christians say, we are not here to come and live a raggedy life, to come and live a struggling life, to come and live in poverty so that God can love us. That is, I'm sorry, it's madness. We are here on a whole experience. We are here to enjoy life. We are here now. Before you can get to know what you are really here to do, you have to get to know your higher self, the God that is in you. Get to know your higher self. And once you get to know your higher self, things become easy. You wouldn't need to run to anybody, any spiritual person for a minute for assistance. Because I remember when the pandemic started, I saw to sell here. I've never stepped out to go and work anywhere ever since I came in the United States. I just work from home. And let me tell you, my spiritual awakening turned my yearly salary into a monthly salary. And I'll be talking about that. That is why I have the effrontery to jump on here to talk like I'm talking. Because people are struggling, and it saddens my heart. If something can change my yearly income to a monthly income, it's worth talking about. It's worth talking about. I changed my thought patterns after realizing that there is a universal mind of God and there is mass mind. The mass mind is where all those useless thoughts belong, and the universal mind is the mind of God. I had to run for my life. Run straight to the universal mind of God. You see, because most of the times you sit down, whenever you are thinking about your problems, the mass mind is running your mind, I bet you. And if you don't run away from that, you live a miserable life and die a horrible death. But thanks to God, after death, you go to heaven. I bet you nobody is going to hell. Hell was a concept that was created by human beings like you and I, who were influenced by negative forces. And look at how that concept alone is ruining human life. Now let me put in this. When sometimes you watch movies and you see aliens and other stuff, we think they are just something that have been created. They exist. They live on other planets, but they live in different dimensions. We are in the third dimension. They live in the fourth, fifth, sixth. It goes in those dimensions. And they've been there for a longer time. I've told you they've been lifetime. And we have those that are positive, and there are negative ones. Those are the ones behind the evil that we go through. There is nothing like no Satan sitting in no hell. That concept was created by them. Now let me tell you this. The concept of Satan was also created by them. And one thing we don't know is when the collective begin to think about something, we begin to create it. So the reason why COVID had a chance to come in and do what it did is because we allowed it. The whole world is being bombarded with so much negativity, and that makes it easy for the negative forces to just walk right in. So it's so sad that that concept of negativity, I bet you our religious leaders are promoting it, and even they don't realize it. When you go to church and tell your church members that they have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, and you make them look down upon themselves, you are feeding the negative forces. When you tell people because of what they've done, God doesn't love them and they'll have to do certain things before God. What is the meaning of unconditional love? What is the meaning of unconditional love? So, from the years and the editing of the Bible has affected everything so much that everybody now, one thing we don't know is when you make mistakes in life, or when you do what the Christians call sin, you do something like that, and bad things begin to happen to you. I bet you it's not God that is punishing you. He has no hand in it. Don't put it on him. He absolutely has no hand in it. What happens is, the moment you do the wrong thing, because you belong to the mass mind believes that when you do this is what is supposed to happen to you. And after you've done that, you begin to condemn yourself. Now every day you are thinking, I did this, so this is supposed to happen to me. Oh, I did this, I'm not a good person. The moment you begin to tell your mind that, you are telling your mind you need punishment. And let me tell you, your mind is a very good servant. The punishment is going to come live and colored, and everybody will tell you God has punished you because of what he did. God hasn't got a hand in that. God hasn't got a hand in that. I have things that I'm bringing out as a result of my spiritual awakening that is not going to sink. But I didn't want to get on air because it's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, and I'm being told by my spiritual guys that the things that they are sending me to put out there, some of them have never been told. But why are they asking me to come out here with them? Because there are people out there that needs this information. So I've been chosen to come out here. Then when they told me, I said, who am I? I was expecting that you go to some big time pastor that everybody believe, a bishop, something. But let me tell you something. If you come to realize who you are and the fact that you are part of God, it doesn't matter where you are coming from. It doesn't matter your status. It doesn't matter how you look like. The work will be done through you. That is why I don't want anybody to look down upon themselves. Never look down upon yourself, because as I said, you are a piece of God. If God is a big bread, you are a piece of God. So that the sweetness in that bread is in you. Once upon a time, God broke a part of himself, said, go to earth, go and learn. You know, God explores. He's the greatest scientist. He explores. So he puts parts of himself at all places to explore. You see, so we are all connected to infinite intelligence. Now, where do you think all those that are inventing stuff get the ideas from? They are getting it from their source. You see, they are getting it from source. And how do you think the Wright brothers were able to create the aeroplane? You know, the one that created the light bulb and all those things. Now, I bet you I've been told there is a very short day, it's not going to take long. We are going to have cars that are flying in the air. We are going to have cars flying in the air. Why is it going to happen that way? Because some people sat down. Now, this is how invention works. I know I'm all over the place. As I said, today I'm just doing the introduction. I'm going to break all this down so that you are going to understand me really well. Now, this is how things are formed. Everything that is formed, that happens in your life, this is how it starts. We have formless bodies that are there, let me say, in space. And the only thing that can put those formless stuff in shape is your thoughts. So there is no limit to what you can be, to what you can do in this life. Is God limited? Is there any limit on God? No. And Christians read the Bible and say we are the image of God, and we don't even know what we are talking about. It's not a mistake to say you are God, because you are a piece of Him. You are a piece of Him. So if you want something to, how did God created the heaven and earth? It was His thought. His thought began to put things into form. You see, He called things into place. All creation. And it's amazing we don't realize that we have that creation power. You know, throughout my life, I think I've been practicing this thing, and I wasn't even aware that I was practicing it. Because I remember, I don't mean to be funny, but I remember growing up, I said, I don't want to raise my kids in a compound house where there are a whole lot of people there. I never raised my kids in a compound house. I told myself I'll never travel to the United States or anywhere in the world and do 10 jobs to save my life. I am not doing that. I've never stepped outside to go and work anywhere ever since I came to the United States. I'm doing what I love. I love to sew, and I've never even learned how to sew. That is the funny part of it. That is what I was born with. I was wasting my time going to training college, university in Ghana, not knowing there was something in me that I had to develop. So all the cash I'm making is from sewing, which I never learned how to do it. So that is how the God in you can make you do. You see, so there are those formless substances in the invisible. Now, the moment you begin to think, you begin to put them into form. So if you are thinking about problems and how life is no good and how everything is difficult, you know what you're doing. You are putting things into form, and they will come to you. So why don't you switch from thinking about how everything is not going well to picturing, imagination is everything. We don't even realize it. Imagination is everything. The God in America can bring out the best in you. The God in Ghana. That is funny. You know, God is universal. He's everywhere. So always remember, whatever you are thinking, you are putting something into form that will come physical for you. Whatever you are thinking, our thoughts turn to things. It goes through a process, but the end product is a thing. So if you look at your job and you hate it so much, every day you will have a cause to hate your job. Do away with negative. Let me put this out there. Every negativity is a low vibration energy, and every positivity is a higher vibration energy. So just imagine if you are in, and every bad thing is vibrating at a very lower level, and every good thing is vibrating at a very higher level. Now, if you try as much as possible to stay happy and positive, there are people, they can't be positive to save their lives. Every day something negative is going on. Every day there is a problem. And you know, such people will always have something to complain about in life. Do away with the negativity, because you are creating things for yourself. Nothing can save you until you switch from the negativity to be positive. Excuse me. So until you change the pattern of your thoughts and the patterns of what your speech, don't expect to have any change in your life. As I said, we have not been put here on a strict instructions do this, if you don't do this, that. We are on earth to explore, enjoy. Now, the only way you can get to enjoy life, you first have to get connected to your higher self. You have to get connected to. Our minds are very powerful. Our mind. No, the brain is in here. Now, the brain is a tool for the mind to work with. Our minds are very powerful. That is the most powerful thing that God gave us. So don't misuse your mind. Don't let somebody get you through your mind. Take hold of your mind. If you take hold of your mind, you take hold of your life. If you are able to control your mind, you are controlling your life. If you allow anything to run through your mind, you are allowing anything to run your life. So be careful. Your mind is your asset. Be careful what you believe, because even the Bible says that it shall be unto you as you believe. What do you think about that? It shall be unto you as you believe. So be careful what you believe. What you believe. From the day you were born until now, your life is being controlled by what you believe. So if your life is not going well, please change your beliefs. So me, I've changed mine. Change your beliefs. If you don't change your belief, you still keep being in the struggles within which you are now. But if you switch your belief, run away from the beliefs that are not serving you. Remember, nobody is going to know hell. Nobody is going to know hell. As I said, hell is a concept created by human beings who were influenced by negative forces. I explain who these negative forces are. Nobody, if you don't take anything from me from this streaming, take from me. Now look at how you are going to lead your life. If that concept of hell alone gets out of it, I know it is going to be difficult for people to believe, but after I've finished, talk to yourself. Say, my higher self, the God in me, I need more information beyond the Bible. What is? Because as I mentioned earlier on, all our spiritual books doesn't come to 1% of what we need to know about God and who He is and what we have to do to get closer. Our spiritual books don't. The day I got this download, I was shocked. So wow, somebody is living the totality of his life based on the Bible. I'm not saying it's wrong. It's wrong. That is your choice. If you choose to be by what says don't add, don't take out, so that is what you are going to stick. You will lead life, but I bet you know the struggle is real. You will struggle. So I learned my lessons. I've changed my beliefs. These days I don't just jump into conversations. I love to hear people talk, because when you consent to certain things, it's either you are believing or taking part of it, and it will affect your life. I just love to hear people talk about problems and everything. Then I watch on, because if everything is hard for you, it's not hard for me. Then talk. Be careful when everybody is saying. Now I've been hearing a lot of Ghanaians say it's difficult in Ghana. Stop saying that. If it's difficult, if things are difficult for everybody, tell yourself, my source is God. He is the God of everything. He has everything, so things are not difficult for me. If you believe things are difficult, things are going to be difficult for you. If you believe things are difficult, I swear they'll be difficult for you. But in the midst of all chaos, I remember in the beginning of COVID, everybody that talked to me, I told them, I'm not afraid of that thing called COVID. If everybody dies, if me, my kids and husband will remain standing, we will be the only 6 people. living. Now, do you think that that thing that I said didn't do anything? Things that you say go a long way. When I say it, I didn't just say it, I believed in it. And I also remember the worst thing COVID can do to me is to make me more money, and that's all. And COVID did just that. So if you put your hands on your head and you were crying that because of COVID, you were going to be poor, I bet you went poor. You got broke. If you are afraid of COVID, COVID made you broke. But thank God, I spoke mine into the air. Be careful what you say from now on. If you have case, teach your case how to talk. All those things from the past, the beliefs and the stuff, you have to do things that way, you have to do things that way. Run from it. If you want to change your life, get connected to your higher self. You don't need to run around there to go and look for any spiritual person to help you. You are complete. You are whole help on your own. So today, as I said, it's just an introduction. It's just an introduction, and I didn't just jump on here. It's taken me a while because I wanted to come on. It's been a year since I decided to come on here, but I felt I was still getting downloads. I needed to wait a little. And time was going, and I needed to get on here. Because when I hear the struggles of people, and when I hear the ignorance that is running around, it's sad. It's sad. People don't realize that they are the cause of their own problem. Especially in Africa, everybody that goes through problems believe that there is somebody somewhere in the family that is after him and that is causing his or her problem. I used to be like that, blaming everybody around. If I look at the family, it might be this one, it might be that one, it might be that one. The good news is, it might be bad news to you. You are the cause of everything that is happening in your life. Nobody is after you. Now, if you give somebody the green card who also think he or she is powerful to influence your life, that is your business. Because the moment you believe that I am the cause of your troubles, I will be. Now, what the mind does is, as I told you earlier on, the mind is so powerful. The moment you believe that this is the cause of my trouble, you have told your mind, I'm looking for trouble. The mind will work to heaven and earth to find trouble for you. Your mind is a very good servant. Very, very, very good servant. Be careful what you put in your mind. Be careful what you say. Nobody is after you. Nobody can do anything to you. You were a piece of God, and you are powerful enough. You are powerful enough to take hold of your life and run with it. You don't need to go and run and jump in. It's sad, the kind of ignorance. So you stick around. I'll be coming with more. I just want you to take this. Those that need to hear this will hear it, and they will understand. The concept of hell was created by human beings who were influenced by negative forces. The Bible was heavily edited from the 4th to the 6th century. Somebody sat down and decided, okay, let's tell them Jesus said this. Don't put in that one. Let's tell them God said that. How do you know which one is right and which one is wrong? Everything in the Bible that you read that scares you, that puts fear in you, for he has not given us the power of fear. Everything that scares you, that puts fear in you, is not from God. If you want to stay happy and fulfilled in life, everybody is going back to God. Because as I said, You were a piece of God that He put here. How come that you die and that piece of God goes to something that they've created, said hell or the devil? I know someone will ask, why is it that we have the devil that has the horns and that tail? Your imagination alone can create that. So just imagine a huge number of people coming together to believe in that. It's created easily. It comes to form, it comes physical. So the reason why people say they've had vision, they went to hell, they go to other dimensions, they are not able to differentiate between what is our dimension and those dimensions. We have parallel dimensions. They go there and they see what the imaginations of humans have created, and they think that is what God meant for us. That is not what God meant for us. God is way better than that. Remember, God is way better than putting part of Himself on earth, and after you are done, He takes part of Himself and put in hell to burn forever. Maybe it makes sense to you, but me, it has never made sense to me. It doesn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me. It might make sense to you. Now, I don't judge anybody. Previously, I used to, whenever I see somebody dressed in a certain way, has to makeup on, man, God is not concerned about that. These are the rules. As you're on earth, make sure you don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt anything through your actions, through your thoughts, through your deeds, whatever. Don't hurt anybody. Don't hurt anything. Don't hurt yourself. And do what? Love more. Love more. Love is everything. Yes, Jesus is an ascended master. There were others like Jesus that came that we don't even know about. But the Romans decided to put Jesus for us. He's good, He's awesome, He's amazing. When He came, His major thing was love and compassion. Love and compassion. That is the major thing He came to teach. Love and compassion. Love more. Be compassionate with your fellow human being. Don't hurt yourself in any way. Don't hurt anything. Don't hurt anybody. Now, if everybody, when I was giving, this was one of the downloads that I had. If everybody on the surface of the earth is doing this, we wouldn't have anything to worry about. You wake up, you don't do anything to hurt yourself. You don't hurt anything. You don't hurt anybody, neither through your acts or your thoughts. And all you are doing is sharing love and compassion every day. Wow. It's surely going to get good. You see? So that is how it's supposed to be. Stop judging people. See somebody doing this, you are judging. We are all going back to God. We are all I used to judge people when I see them with a whole lot of makeup. Sometimes I feel like calling them and telling them, you are putting on too makeup. What is that? Not knowing it doesn't even matter. You see, our presence here on earth is a school. As I said, you've lived before. Now, there are people currently that are tracing back to their past lifetime. There are people who know who they were in their past lifetimes. Don't get stuck. Forget about all those past beliefs. Get to know your higher self. Get to know your inner self, your inner being. Get to know the God in you. Communicate. Stop going around there and chatting with people, unnecessary talks, and saying a whole lot of negative things. Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. and communicate with the spirit that is within you, and I bet you receive answers. Now, the first time I realized that I can ask my higher self questions and get answers, I jumped on it. That was the beginning of my awakening, very beginning in February last year. I used to make clothes and sell online. Then I knew COVID, who is going out to buy clothes and those new stuff? So one day I was about to go to bed. I said, higher self, if you're in there, listen to me. Listen to me. Because I'm going to sleep. They say when I'm going to sleep and I ask the question, by the time I wake up or within the week, I'll get answers. So please answer me. What is it that I can do in this COVID time? And mind you, in the beginning of COVID, we weren't allowed to, the sewing of this mask didn't take off because they said it wasn't effective and all that. So I wasn't thinking about that. So I just went to bed one night as my higher self, God in me, infinite intelligence in me. Now, I can't sew clothes again. Nobody is not going to order clothes at this time. Everybody is at home. Show me, what should I do? Let me know what to do. And funny enough, that morning, my stepdaughter called the daddy and asked him if I can sew. We have scrub caps that we use African prints to make. I'm trying to see if I have some around. It's a bit far away from me. Actually, I'm talking to you from my sewing room. So the answer was really quick. But that same day, few minutes later, I have this man that goes to Ghana to bring stuff here, and when he brings it and he has, clothes, if he has issues, he used to bring it to me for me to do alteration on it for him. So he also called that he has got a big order for masks. So can I do it? So why not? I sew everything. I even sew human being. I sew everything so I can sew it. Once you can sew it on the sewing machine, I'll sew it. So he brought in that order. So I had this too. The first thing that came in was the scrub caps. Nurses, it's like a bonnet. We have different styles. So I use African print to do that. That was the first answer that came. And the second was mask. I turned my attention to the mask because everybody was beginning to wear masks at that time. And let me tell you today, from what I know and the comparisons I made, the first answer that came in, I should have done that. Because later on, I realized that the scrub caps, because all health workers were being asked to wear the scrub caps, were selling way more. And the price was higher. So I would have gained way more. So that was my first answer, and I was supposed to pay attention to that answer. I didn't, and I paid attention to math because my normal human understanding. So I bet you, if you get connected to your higher self and begin to ask questions, sometimes your answers might come in the form of something that someone is saying on the radio. It might be a comment somebody is passing somewhere that you are not even conversing with the person will answer your question. It might be a paragraph in a book. It will answer your question. When you get connected to your higher self, life becomes easy. Now I don't worry about it anymore because I know who my source is. And there have been instances and things happening that doesn't make me worry. I'm not believing in the fact that there is no devil in hell somewhere chasing me. I'm not worried about anything going to hell. What nonsense. I'm sorry if you believe in it. But does it make sense that an unconditional, loving God who has put a part of himself on earth here as you will carry you and take you to hell because of what? What is the meaning of unconditional? That is one thing I want people to get across. The people that you have judged as the worst persons on earth, you go and meet them in heaven. Now it's so sad that you die before you realize the truth. I would have lived better. Why didn't I live a better life? You see, people are living in fear. Now let me tell you one thing that is going on. Sorry. These negative forces that I'm talking about, they live on other planets, and they have influenced part of humanity. So when you see somebody doing crazy stuff, don't think it's the devil, Satan is in hell. Those are influences from those negative forces. And this is how we are helping them to grow. Fear. The more we have fear, we put fear out there, and the more we do negative stuff, that is what they feed on. They are not humans. They are not in our dimension. They are in higher dimensions. They are spiritual beings. So all those negative forces, they feed on fear. So if you are being afraid of anything, you are feeding a negative force to become strong and come to hurt you. You shouldn't be afraid of anything. Anything that makes you afraid, that puts fear in you, run away from it. Number one, our news, the media. Let me tell you, the gurus or the big time men, the 1% that is controlling all the money in the world, are influenced by these negative forces, and they decide what you hear. So the more they put fear out there, the more they feed the negative forces. Be careful what you listen to. I stopped listening to news because if it's so important that I have to hear, it will get to me. So be careful what you are listening to. Today, cut off anything that puts fear in you. When you see a video and you know this video has a bad omen, when I watch it, I won't feel good. Scroll. It's not by force. Don't watch it. Why should you watch it? It has effect on your mind, and the mind records stuff. It will keep occurring, and the fear will keep growing. Choose what you listen to. Choose what comes to you. Begin to make that positive changes in your life and turn your life around. Remember, God is not angry with you now. Some people's life are currently miserable because they did some things in the past, and they think that God is angry with them and they are going through struggles. Man, just believe that God, kick away that belief that God is angry with you. He hasn't got time. And remember, God is not a human being. He hasn't got negative emotions. Put it at the back of your mind. God doesn't have negative emotions. Don't let anybody tell you that and believe it. God hasn't got negative emotions. He is unconditional loving God, like he said he is. And negatively influenced human beings have altered our religious books to make God look a certain way to us, and that is what we are believing. He is not like that. Watch your life. Just twist your life around. Run from all the negativity and the things in the mass mind, and get closer to the universal mind of God. From today onwards, change your beliefs. We are not here to struggle to live. We are not here to live miserable life so that we can go to heaven. Everybody is going back to heaven. Everybody is going back to God. Regardless, Atai is going back to God. Regardless of who you are, regardless of who you came to be, all those drug addicts, alcoholics, and whatever, everybody is going back to God. The only people that come and say they saw her is those that go into that trance and come back. Those that goes into that trance and come back. Because they went to dimensions where things look like what they've been told and believe in. So they think it's real. It's not real. Let me tell you, if we want to change this world, if over 50% of the population of this earth begin to say that the earth is peaceful, and that number of people begin to show love and compassion towards each other, the earth is going to be a new place. All the problems that we are going through is the fact that the negative forces keep influencing humanity, and they keep feeding us with negativity that also makes us come out with more negativity. So the more negative things go on, then bad things keep happening. The more negative things, negative thoughts, negative stuff keep going on, bad things keep happening. Now, it's like the sad part, another sad part is every Christian is currently expecting bad things to happen. Am I lying? Because they said in the end of days, there shall be wars and that. So everybody is expecting evil and bad things to happen that can make way for God to come. Think about it. Go and sleep and think about these things that I'm saying. I didn't just get up and felt like coming to say. I'm being asked, get out there, get out there, get out there. Tell them this. I've been refusing, but I think it's the time. I think it's the time. Now is the time for me to get out here and let you know. So I know today I've been all over the place, hitting a little on this, hitting a little on that, touching on this and touching on that. I'll be narrowing down in my consequent videos. As I said, if you look at the description, I have my I've created a TikTok, an Instagram, and I have a Facebook page just for this message, because it's very important to me. That's what I think I'll be doing for the rest of my life, because people need to know, the younger generations that are coming, they have to know how to lead their life, to live peaceful. We don't have to live in fear. Now, many Christians are so afraid, because the Bible says in the end of days, these things are going to happen. So they are expecting, please, the expectation of the righteous shall not be denied. Oh, your expectation shall not be denied. So if you are expecting bad things to happen, I bet you they are going to happen to you. Me, I'm not expecting any bad thing to happen. And as I'm speaking to you right now, last January there was a massive galactic upgrades, and I bet you millions of people know nothing about this, and it has taken place. Now people are sitting down expecting for the earth to roll like a mat, and for the heavens to melt like the earth to melt like a pomade, and for the heavens to roll like a mat. Then somebody will come and stand there and blow a horn that God is coming. Please, oh, don't let the Nigerian in me come out. Please. Because somehow I feel in my past life I was Nigerian, because all the love I'm receiving in Houston is from Nigerians. It's amazing. I've not met Ghanaians, but the Nigerians here, amazing. Let me take this opportunity to say a shout out to Mama Ngozi. Man, she's the very first person that showed me love when I touched this is Houston land. He's an amazing person. And Mom Tade, she sells fabric, so I used to buy fabric from her. Amazing people. You see? So please, no heaven is going to roll like a mat, and no earth is going to melt like anything. If you're expecting all those horrible things to happen, it's not in the mind of God for those horrible things to happen to us. Earth is going to go on and go on. And let me break this news to you that it's going to get better and better and better. Stop expecting bad things. Stop expecting. If you're a pastor, don't go out there and preach to your church members that bad times are coming, evil times are coming. How will I say that in English? Where is your standing place? Nothing of that sort is coming. So please, stop. It's amazing that these negative forces are being helped massively by men of God. So-called men of God. Because I don't blame them. They don't know. They feel the Bible is all in all. And that is what they are supposed to teach. I beg you. I'm entreating every pastor to dive deep into yourself. Talk to the higher self. There is a piece of God in you. This is the body, but what you brought here to come and take this body, it was a piece of God. And you are in constant connection. You don't have to shout and jump and clap before God can hear you. He's not far away. He's right here. He's right here. So men of God, any man of God or any pastor, any bishop that will come across this video, I beg you, please get connected to the Spirit of God in you and ask the Spirit of God beyond the Bible what? Stop going out there and scaring the congregation. Stop scaring them. Tell them life is going to get better and better and better and better. If you don't start today, it's going to keep longer because this earth is not going nowhere. It's not going to melt. It's not going to roll because earth is not God's first creation. God was. And there were other existences before earth was created. So earth is not going nowhere. Those planets and all those things that were created before earth are still there. God is going to destroy earth for what? For what? There have been lifetimes on earth and they did mistakes and the whole thing crashed. Another lifetime started. So when you see the Egyptian pyramids and you see those pictures or drawings on them, some are human bodies with crocodile hairs. There have been existences on this planet and that is how they looked like. Their time have passed. And this is our time as humans. And you might have been one of them. And now you are here as a human. If you want to know, when you get connected to the higher self in you, you'll be sent back and you get to know this is not magic. This is not prayer. The day you get fully connected to your higher self, you'll be blown away. And it's like the information will come to you where you didn't expect. Now the nice part of this spiritual awakening is every blessed day information is sent to you. Every blessed day information is sent to you. You don't expect. And mine sometimes come as a download. I'll sit here and I'll feel like someone is talking to me. I have a special book for that. I'll script everything down. So remember, I'm not just sitting here telling you something because I heard somebody saying it. Most of the things I'll be talking about with you are things that I've got downloads and I'm being told over and over again. There are things that we are going to let you put out there that has never been. So beyond the Bible and the religious books, there is a whole lot. There is a whole lot of things that we need to know. But we have been narrowed down to the religious books, so we think that is all. That is not all. There is a lot more we have to learn. And as a human, there is one thing that I'm urging you to do. From today on, sack all your previous beliefs and watch everything that you say. Watch whatever you say. Never say you have to struggle before you can eat. No, that is not coming from God. Now, sometimes we listen to people that are high in the religious system, and when they say something that we feel is so, that this is a nice statement, then we pick it. Whether it's going to affect your life in a good way or not in a good way, you just sit down and take it and you enjoy it. I know when I finish, I will answer the comments. I'll try and put this on YouTube as well, because I feel if you have a friend that is struggling, share this with them, because the struggles of people is mostly, some of them is mostly is because of our religious system, because they don't know anything to do again. They've done everything. So what they do is now to jump from one pastor to another pastor. If you are watching this in the United States, I know it will be a bit, or any other part of the world, it will be a bit confusing. But back in Africa, people jump from one pastor to another pastor to another pastor, thinking that they are supposed to help them to get over their problems. No. Remember, nobody is behind your problem. And we don't even know how to convey our problems to God. You go to church and stand there, Erade, me how you, Erade, me how you, me how you, me how you, and open up you. God is asking you, what is your problem? And you are saying, God, my problem. What? I remember I asked somebody, I was talking to somebody, and I asked him to tell me his problem. What is it that he's expecting God to do? He said, I'm expecting God to move me to a higher financial level. I want to grow spiritually. And he thought he had said everything. I said, boss, what do you want? Learn how to make clear your problems. You want God to give you a financial breakthrough. You've not said anything. You've absolutely said nothing. So if you have been praying that, God, I need a financial breakthrough, I need a financial breakthrough, and that is all that you've been saying, I bet you're going to stay broke for a long time. If you want God to give you a financial breakthrough, how much? What does financial breakthrough look like for you? Because maybe my kind of financial breakthrough is in trillions of dollars, and yours is in millions of cedis. So how does it look for you? So go to God clear. Then it's not like you're going to kneel down and raise your hands. God, please, I beg you, give me a financial breakthrough. That is not prayer. What you've been doing is nothing close to prayer. But that is what we've been taught is prayer. So that is what we believe to be prayer. That is why we are struggling. That is why we are struggling. We just bath and wear clothes and go to church on Sunday and go and sit down and listen to our pastor say beautiful things and nice things. We do preach on, and we do all those things, and you come back home broke. You come from church and you go and beg for food. That is not how it's supposed to work. You know how I see church now? I feel church is a social gathering that we are supposed to go and know each other. Have fun. If you go to a church that all that your pastor is telling you is for you have sinned and fall short of the glory of God, whenever you go to church and come back home, you are feeling bad about yourself, stop. You'll be better off. You don't need anybody to be reminding you of your mistakes. You don't need anybody to be making you afraid of anything. I decided to be here for just a short while. I think I've been here for too long. You do not need anybody to be telling you. So if you are fall short, if you don't deserve what? God himself is sitting up there, and he all that he's doing is loving us every moment, every second. All that he's doing is loving us. You are sitting here and worried that God is angry with you for what? He doesn't care about that. What he cares is about his love, because he cannot hate himself. You are God's self. Oh. You are God's self. It's like cutting a part of yourself and putting somewhere, and you hate yourself. God doesn't hate any of us. He does not hate any of us. All he does is love us. All he does is love us. So all I'm saying is, start from getting to know your higher self. Begin to talk to your higher self, the God in you. Don't run out there and go and sit in church for 24 hours and you don't even know who you are. Get to know yourself. Sit with yourself. Now from there, you begin to get better communication from God about how to lead your life, how to go about things, how to do whatever you are supposed to do. Sit with yourself. Sit with yourself. You sit with yourself and begin to ask questions. God is right there. You don't have to shout. Let me tell you, God is just a thought away. Either God, your spiritual guide. Now, we have made our spiritual guides and angels useless because we don't even believe in them. There are beliefs and things surrounding them that we can't even talk about it. Now, I bet you these negative forces have inspired people that do those occult stuff, and they use very good information that we are supposed to use and be prosperous with it, and they use it negatively and they get all the riches, and we sit here and we be crying. We sit down and be crying. I know as time goes on, I'll be showing you a whole lot of things you can do to move your life from this, to make things easy from you. You learn how not to just get up and do anything, but you form it in the spiritual, so that when you begin to work on it in the physical, it just comes. If you've been trying to get something and it's not coming, that means you've not formed it well in the spiritual. Or now, the moment you ask for anything, is there. It's there. But you have to be ready. You have to create the path. If you don't create the path for it to come, it won't come. It won't come. So you've been crying for one particular thing and you've been doubting it, and you are being angry about it, and you've been talking bad about it. It's not going to come. That is why sometimes our prayers keep hanging. Even the kind of things we do as prayer, it's not prayer. As I told you, if you want something from God, you don't go and say, God, I beg you, do this for me. You say, I'm so happy and grateful. You say, when you pray, believe that it's done. I'm so happy and grateful that God, you've given me this $10,000 I'm looking for. I'm so happy and grateful. Then in that being gratefulness, you now see yourself holding that $10,000. Now I'm seeing myself holding $10,000. God, I thank you. See, it puts joy in your heart. It puts some joy in your heart. Now, when you keep doing it like that, that is when you meet somebody out of nowhere you've never met before. All of a sudden, they begin to like you and they want you to do something, or they want to do something for you. They connect you. You meet somebody out of nowhere, 1 or 2 conversations, then you get a huge link to something you've been looking for all of your life. As I said, we are all intertwined, everybody. So sometimes those that racism and tribalism makes me laugh, we are all connected to each other. Whether you are white, black, green, blue, yellow, we are all connected to each other. It's like a spider's web. That is how everything is connected. Everything is connected. That is why I'll sit here and think about somebody, and in 2 minutes the person will call me. It doesn't just happen. So whatever you are looking for, don't put limit on it. It can happen easily. It can happen easily. You see, I've been here for a while. The next time I've been given information on why God created us in different skin colors. So I'm going to do a video on it. Stay tuned. I'll be doing a whole lot. Why things happen the way they happen. Why your life is as it is. And why you feel things are not going the way you are not supposed to be going. The way they are supposed to be going. You stick around. Sometimes I'll be live on Instagram. Sometimes I'll be live here. I'll be on the Bennett Wilson 911. That's my page. You can follow. And on TikTok, it's still Bennett Wilson 911. Now, if you have any interest in seeing what I do in the United States, how my work, how I sew and do stuff, I have a YouTube channel called it Niceroy 101. NICEROY 101. You see me working and preparing to ship stuff all over. So it's been great being around here. I don't know if you have any question, you can message me. But we are not, God didn't put us here to suffer. Forget about that one. He has given us everything here to enjoy. So I would say, if you are struggling, it's your choice. If you are going through problems, it's strictly choice. That's what you've chosen. If you don't want it, don't think about it. Focus on what you want. If today you are struggling, ask yourself, what do I want my tomorrow to look like? Sit down and imagine how you want your tomorrow to look like. Today, I don't have money, but I want to be having money all around me tomorrow. Sit down and imagine it. Don't sit down and cry over the fact that you don't have money today. Tomorrow you won't have. The next day you won't have. 10 years you won't have. Because the crying wouldn't do anything but worsen the case. What do you want your tomorrow to be like? Imagine it and give thanks for it. It works. That is why I don't worry about anything for a day. I don't have the time to worry. So stop worrying about everything. Worrying doesn't do anything for you, but rather keeps taking breath away from you bit by bit. So the day you die, then your spirit gets to heaven. You say, so why did I have to go through all that trouble for what? And I don't know if I go to church again. I don't know if I'll go for somebody's wedding, family something. We have to go. An invitation, you have to come and do this. But regular Sunday, carry yourself. I won't go anywhere for anybody to go and tell me I've sinned and come short the glory of God. Sorry. So that is where I'm ending today. I'll be coming back again. Today, as I said, was introduction, and I've talked plenty like that. So take control of your mind. The moment you take control of your mind, you've taken control of your life. Don't be in the mass mind where everybody is thinking all those thoughts. All our earthly thoughts are in the mass mind. If you stay there, that mass mind and the thoughts will rule your life. Get out there and come into the universal mind of God and say good things for yourself every blessed day, not 1 minute, not 2 minutes, throughout your day. Don't just do affirmations in the morning. I'm so happy and grateful that I have a mansion. Then throughout the day you are worried, hey, how can I get money to do this? No, if you do that, your affirmation will not work. Throughout the day, the moment your problem comes to your mind, you say something positive. I know I'm a piece of God, and therefore I'm well and able to do everything that I want, or to get everything that I want, or to do everything that I need to do. So that is how it is. Don't be consumed by what is on this earth. Don't allow the earth beliefs to sway you away. Don't be afraid to be different, because now I'm not in the beginning I was kind of thinking people are going to say a whole lot of things, because I've not gotten in deeply. There are a whole lot of things that are coming, but this is it. This is what I have to do. I know when the Wright brothers said they were going to create an aeroplane, something to fly in the sky with nothing holding it, people thought they were crazy. The same way I'm here telling you there is no hell, and nobody is going to hell, and everybody is going to heaven. People for now will think I'm crazy, but when you begin to get your own confirmations, you will understand it. So for you to get your confirmations, get to know your higher self. There are some of you that do not even know you have a spiritual guide. We look at our family members that are dead, and we think those that are wicked, we think they are burning in hell. They are all in heaven, and they are all in the form of angelic beings protecting you, when you think they are in hell. So I'm ending here today. We are going to talk again. I appreciate all of you and your comments. I'll look at the comments and see that I have to reply, and we'll be talking. Have a good day. Bye bye.